Just one touch and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch and I know I'm gonna stay for always. Gypsy road.
Oh shoot! No, sorry about that. I gotta make sure things are on pause. Sorry about that little mess up, guys. I want to thank everybody for joining us today on this Wednesday. It is Veterans Day, so I don't know if a lot of people do a lot of things on Veterans Day, but if you're spending sorry, I can't even speak today. But if you're spending some time with us, I want to thank you guys for joining us. So far, I see AGM, I see Roka in there. Looks like a lot of Carter Music's here. I guess he's going to Maui. That lucky bastard.
Nice.
Go to Hawaii. Why can't I go to Hawaii? Can you imagine having Joey Roka as your host going around Hawaii? Bob, we can't go to Hawaii because I think we might get in trouble with Joey.
Oh, yeah. He knows where all the weed is.
Oh, gosh.
You know he knows.
And we have a special guest today, people. And how do you – I don't want to mess up your name, how to pronounce your name. How do you pronounce your name properly?
So properly, it's Carolina Fonseca Jimenez. But I'm going to make it easy for everybody, and we're just going to go with Carolina.
Carolina. Okay.
Yes.
I got to write that down.
That's easy for me because a lot of people know that sometimes, I used to have a stutter problem when I was a kid and all that. So there's certain words that it's easy words that's hard to pronounce. Even my wife makes fun of me because she always like, Eric, can you say orange juice? And she does it because I say it weird, and I know she's doing it to make fun of me.
Oh, hold on, Eric, say orange juice.
Yeah, see, there we go. The orange juice.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Orange juice.
Nice.
With practice, it comes out all right.
Well, if I say it slow, but she always just does it for fun and all that. And I want to thank today's Veterans Day. So yeah. I literally want to thank every single veteran that's out there. One thing that people need to understand that Veterans Day is veterans don't start wars. The governments of the world starts the war, and veterans are people like you and I, are just regular people, men and women. It's basically just a job, and they're just doing their job, going whatever the government's sending them to. Even places where you think they're your enemy, they are just doing their job for their government. So that's why when I wrote the word for this,
doing their job.
Oh shoot! Let me get this. That's why I wrote this word of the title. Thank you, veterans from all around the world. This is just not a USA holiday. This is around the world where people should, celebrate. Because Bob, you told me that in the UK they don't really say thank you to even the Britain's veterans, and I'm always curious.
Used to it. Yeah, they're not really used to. I don't know. It's weird to me. In America, it's like everybody's nice. Like everybody. Oh, you serve. Thank you for your serve. Over here, they don't. I don't hear them say that. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Well, they don't have a VA, so they have. Remember, it's all free healthcare. So there's no veterans VA. There's no except for like little clubs, or they get together in pubs and get wasted. So it's not the best way to present yourself.
And look, I got a good text. This morning. I got a text that says, "Hi, Eric. Happy Veterans Day. It's been a long time since you were in the Coast Guard." Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been like 20 years now? I feel so much older. It's been a long time. I remember those days. Thank you for your service. I'm proud to have you as a son-in-law. Enjoy this day. You deserve it. And I want to share, I put a voting thing in the tab, and then we'll get into dreams. I put a voting in the tab, and I made it simple because I always do polls, and it says, "Will you give thanks to veterans on Veterans Day?" 80% says yes. Weird, 12% says no. That's kind of weird. Why? I'm not going to get into that, but I don't know why you would not want to. That's weird. And 4% will give thanks on my channel. And here's some people saying, I may not trust the government, and I do have issues with the system, but I will always love and show respect for veterans. See, that's perfect.
Yeah.
We all do.
God bless our brave veterans. I give thanks to all veterans, but remember rule 1: do no harm. Do no harm. Yeah, veterans not. People get the wrong idea that veterans are all gun happy guys and they're automatically want to go out and shoot. You have a few of those people, but you have those people in the United States of America who's not even in a military or police who just wants to go out and shoot.
Yeah.
And I want to read this one here real quick. And this one is beautiful. From somebody who wrote this. I mean, this takes a lot of guts to write something this big. It's from Elise K. She wrote, "My brother, who was in the Navy in the late 1970s, passed away a few weeks ago due to a number of health problems, including Parkinson's. I wasn't expecting much in the way of a funeral, as I have no money for one and had never made any arrangements." Okay, but listen to this. Fortunately, he had made friends with a man who is a veteran and whose job is to arrange financial assistance for other veterans. He pulled a lot of strings and got my brother's cremation and interment covered by the VA. He was given a proper burial with military honors, the 21 gun salute, and everything. I was very touched and amazed. I wasn't expecting it. And now my brother wasn't either. He mostly kept to himself and didn't ask for much. Thank you to all the men who showed up on Monday to give his honor. RIP, bro. Going to miss you. That's awesome.
It's beautiful.
That I had to read that. That is awesome. And let me tell you, guys, what happened to me and Bob real quick. And we'll get into dreams, I promise.
Yeah.
Bob, this happened to us, and we said this before, and this is no joking, no lie. Our father, he was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
And he actually passed away on Memorial Day of all days. He passed away on Memorial Day. So so we set up like the veterans thing, they have the gun shoot and all that wonderful thing at a memorial up near Seattle. And the guy who we coordinated with gave me a date. For this to happen. And we actually had some family that came up from Oregon, all came up, right? And so we go to the memorial to do the salute and everything. And believe it or not, when we went in there to the office, they go, "We don't have you on this date for today." We're like, "What do you mean you don't have us on this date? We don't have you for another 2 weeks."
Yeah. That was weird.
So here we are with our family who came down from Oregon, California, and we had no salute. But a worker there actually had a stone, and actually said, "We know we can't have the military here doing the 21 gun salute and stuff, but we could put the stone up for you guys if you want to do something." And we did something. And it was so cool because it wasn't the traditional way you wanted it, but in a lot of ways, it was the best thing that ever happened because we made it our own. We had to come up with our own speeches. Everything had to come up. And the weirdest thing happened was during this, I'm not saying this is paranormal, but it was sunny. It was there was no rain. And I swear to God,
it was a beautiful blue skies. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. It was nothing. It was birds chirping like something out of a comic book movie. Man, it was beautiful.
And we were done. My uncle, we were talking about my uncle Bob and all the families. He talk about memories. And then my uncle was in the military and he passed away. I'm saying if my uncle was here, he'll probably do something crazy. Then all of a sudden, it just came down raining hard. All the cars starting to go off, and it was just like, I'm not a religious person, but it was strange.
Everybody had to pull over. All the cars pulled over. It was flooding. It was like someone took a bucket of water. And I've been in rain squalls like that in the Navy. I'm like, this is like tropical. This is like overseas typhoon stuff, man. It was calming down, and then it just stopped. And then all of a sudden just dissipating. I said, "Did you see that, man? Am I crazy? Did you see that?"
It sounds like his mic drop. Like he was like, "Okay, peace out. I'm gone now."
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a boom, bye.
Yeah.
Okay. That was not crazy at all.
Yeah.
I was like,
And then as soon as we took off in the cars and went for a little bit, and then it kind of cleared up.
beautiful
And we're
again.
like, wow, this is just, but in a lot of ways, it was the coolest thing that could ever happen because it made you remember that day even more.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So
I watched cars like sliding and almost hitting each other, and everyone's locking brakes and sliding out. I'm like, oh my God, this is actually happening.
it was almost like our father and his uncle, because they're all military. They changed the date on purpose so this could happen.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah. Perfect moment in time.
Yeah, it was weird.
Let me ask you, it is, when people come out on the military and stuff, and not everybody comes out, I hate to say it, we don't come out perfect. There's issues that has happened.
I'm not.
PTSD, I've been injured in the military. Bob's been injured in the military and stuff. And a lot of people start having dreams, good dreams, bad dreams, and all that.
Oh,
so let
boy.
me ask you, because your channel, I want to show people your channel. So
I can't wait to ask
I did put your link in the beginning of the show right here. There's your link. And I want to share your channel. Let me see here. Let me find it. Got it right here. Nope, not this one. Not this one. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. And you guys can see this is her channel. And when you check out her videos, I'm going to click on videos. And you can see her videos has everything about different things about dreams, lucid dreams.
And she's an author. You're an author, which is cool.
Yeah. Confusing dreams, peaceful dreams, nightmares. I mean, you have something about everything about dreams. So if you don't mind, may I ask you, like in your opinion, I know we don't have 100% reason why, there's nothing scientifically at 100% on why dreams happen. Why do you think dreams happen?
I think fundamentally dreams happen because, they're here to guide us. So for example, whenever we're interacting with people, going about our day, we're absorbing energy. We are seeing exactly what they're doing, but more importantly, we're absorbing the energy that maybe we're not seeing directly with our eyes. So what happens is the subconscious is grabbing all this. So you go to bed at night and all of these unresolved issues and maybe moments of excitement, things that you didn't really focus on, but were still underlying there within the day, will show up in dream state. Now, oftentimes the dreams come in a very kind of weird, dramatic way. And sometimes people say, I don't understand what they mean, but it's simply that we don't understand our dream language at this point. So it just takes a little bit of practice to understand what they're trying to tell us. But I think at the core of it, dreams are here to guide us.
Yeah.
You're, because a lot of people, our good friend, Jose, thank you it was an honor. I love that. I see people wondering, wish I had dreams like that. That's a good one. I wish I had dreams like that. Is there a way to, I don't know how to say, like try to program yourself to have certain kind of good dreams?
Oh.
Is that weird? Is that weird to say?
Oh, no, it's not weird at all. Look, I don't think you can say anything to me that I'm going to say, oh, that's weird. If anything, I'll just be like, that's interesting. Let's explore that. Because, whenever we are having dreams in it, oftentimes they are confusing. But again, it's because we don't understand what they're trying to tell us. In order for us to have more clear dreams, more precise dreams, those dreams that are really kind of impactful and that can help guide us, it has a lot to do with how we're living our lives when we're awake. So, for example, if I am watching a bunch of movies that either promote fear, that promote anxiety, those kinds of things are going to linger and come to dream state. So if I want to have more clear, more intentional dreams, I have to live my life in a more intentional way. It looks different for many people, but I can tell you from my experience, it means for me being very careful what I surround myself with, being very careful the things that I watch, the things that I read, the things that I bring to my reality. Because at the end of the day, if you're able to be intentional with waking state, you're going to be more intentional in dream state because it's simply a reflection. Dream state is simply just reflecting what is going on at the deepest level of our subconscious when we're awake. And since we're only one being, we can practice this when we're awake. And it's very easy, but it's easy to do, but sometimes we just complicate it because we've never really explored it or talked about it. See, in my family, we've always talked about dreams and we've always questioned them. So that's the only reason that I have this kind of understanding of them, because I grew up with talking about the dream language.
Well, you have a video. It's kind of cool right here. It says 5 things we can do to have a peaceful sleep and magical. And in that kind of video, were you? Because I watched the video, but I know most people haven't yet.
They will.
There like 5. You're saying right before we go to bed, there's 5 things that we could do to have a better sleep. What are some of those 5 things? I don't want you to say all 5. I want people to watch your video.
I hear
all 5. Okay. If you don't mind, what are the 5 things you can do for a better sleep?
Yeah. So, okay. So one of the things that we can do before we go to bed at night is we have to have our kind of nightly ritual. So whenever we're awake in the morning, we do our ritual. We wake up, we brush our teeth, we take a shower, that kind of thing. So we have to have an important ritual when we go to bed at night. One of the things that I really love to do before going to bed is I make sure that the smells around me are calming. This is something that we don't always pay attention to. We're just like, it doesn't really matter how it smells. I'm just going to go to sleep. But having that peaceful smell, a smell maybe of lavender, of lilac, whatever brings calm and peace to you, you want to surround your area with that smell. That's number 1, because what you're smelling is going to trigger something in the brain. And if you can trigger peace, calm, then you're already going to be with a good start. So make sure that the surroundings smell good. Now, number 2, another thing that I love to do before going to bed at night is doing a little bit of stretches, either it be yoga or it can just be any regular stretches. It doesn't have to be anything too intense, but if we're able to practice our breathing while we're doing this, that is already going to bring us to that calm state. Now, when we're talking about breathing, oftentimes we breathe up here, like we do this like this kind of anxious breath. So what we want to practice is doing that belly breath, right? We want to, whenever we take our inhale, we inhale very deeply and we practice it going to our belly, because what that does is that mentally it's making us focus on that breath in a different area and it's calming it down. It's making it more peaceful. So if we're able to practice that at night, that's also going to help us have a really restful sleep. And when we're talking about this calm breath, it also helps you fall asleep easier anyways. So those are 2 things. I'll give you one last thing because I know that there's probably going to be questions about this later. Yeah, there will be. But one last thing that you can do that I love this. Okay, you pick a book, any book that brings calm, peace, kind of tranquil energy to you. For me, it's my little kid's book because first of all, I wrote it. I'm very proud of it. And number 2, it's simple. It's a child's book. So it just puts me in that calm, just relaxing and childlike state. So it's promoting those magical dreams, those peaceful dreams. Oftentimes, whenever we go to bed at night, we are done watching a Netflix show. We're done reading something super freaky on our phones. And then we go to bed and we're like, why the heck are my dreams all over the place? Well, it's because we didn't take the proper time to wind down. So those are a couple of things that we can practice to have those peaceful dreams, but also magical dreams. So hopefully that helps you all.
Nice. You know what I heard? I heard that because there's a lot of people saying since this year, they're blaming on the pandemic that they were dreaming less. But I was watching another show, another channel, and they're saying that's not the reason. They're saying some of the reason people are not dreaming is like you're saying, when you're in bed now, usually in the past, people used to go to bed, you turn off the lights, you relax, and you go to sleep, or maybe they read a book. But now people are watching Netflix, they're on their phones, and what that does is the LCD light, it's making your brain think it's still sunny.
Yes.
And so you're not letting yourself get into that deep sleep state to have dreams, because you're supposed to have like a 15-minute whatever relaxation before you go to sleep. And when you read a book doesn't light up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why books, people still go to sleep. But now with phones, you had if you had your lights off, you have your phone, you got this whole brightness coming right at you.
Yes, that's right.
Books. I only read. I don't like internet, so I like paper. I'm a bad habit I write in my books, so I like to fold them, write them, and make them mine. So
now, one person says they smoke too much pot, so that's why they don't dream much.
Let me tell you about that. I think it's different for everybody, right? Because And it's like with anything else, if you use pot to like, oh, I just want to get high, whatever, you're already setting your intention before you even smoke it. But if you do a different intention, if you say, you know what, I want to connect with myself, I want to learn what is really going on within me, and then you smoke that pot, it's a different experience. It is completely different. And if you do it in that way, if you set your intention very clearly, whenever you go to bed at night, your dreams will be different. But the thing is, we need to practice this. Oftentimes, like you made a really good point, Eric. You said that, right now, some people are saying because of COVID, they're not having dreams like they used to. Well, I want to challenge us into taking responsibility, right? Because we can change that. At any point, we can change that. We can decide, you know what? Yeah, COVID is going around. COVID is a thing, sure. But I don't have to fall into the game of fear, right? I can control what I do here within me, within myself, within the folks immediately around me, and I can take responsibility. So I think with the weed, with any kind of drug, it's the intention that you have with it. So
I'm with you.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you know what? Just set your intention.
Yeah. No, I'll smoke it, and then I put on classical. I can't listen to anything hard hitting, and I read because it adds to I'm reading a movie, so the music builds it, and I get a little bit. I'm like, I'm in the movie, and the music's building up, and I'm a little bit, not a lot. When I say don't smoke a lot of weed, guys, I'm talking about like I'll take 2 hits, done, and then it's enough for the reading. Like she talks about, and like you said about the workout, I do that. I walk before bed. Now, having said that, I'm in England. I'm in like or outside of Manchester where there's no crime kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I can walk at midnight over here. It ain't the barrio, man, like back home in California. You could walk anywhere and everyone's nice. There's nobody gonna mess with you. Nobody with guns here. So I'll take like a 2-mile walk at night. It's beautiful. And then I'll come back, and then I'll do the light reading with a little bit of multi, and then I'll go to sleep.
You go. You got it down pat. That is your.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Good texture here. It's good guess. She's talking a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you about this one video. Like I said, people, she's got so many different videos. It's great, and not all on different topics of the dreams. And here's one that's interesting. It says, "X and dream and reconnecting with lost and family member." So when I read that, this is what I'm thinking before even watching the video. I'm thinking, are you talking about like say you lost a family member, like people go on a paranormal search like at a house trying to find their spirits? Are you saying like if you do it right, you might find your family spirits within your own dream?
So it's twofold, right? I've had dreamers that say that whenever they go to bed at night, sometimes they feel that a loved one that passed away is visiting them. Like the other person is making that kind of connection. But I've had some people say that they can actually make that connection themselves. They can set their intention before going to sleep and make that connection. So it goes both ways. I think oftentimes we limit the capabilities that we have as beings, as energetic beings, that whenever we go to bed at night, we're like, you know what, it's just sleeping, it's dreaming, it's no big deal. But if we set our intention properly, we can definitely connect with those people that have passed away. And what we often talk about on our dream channels is, we talk about what the experience is like for different people, because everybody has had a different connection with a loved one that has passed away. But I will say this, whenever you have a connection like that, oftentimes they're there because they're there to help you with something that's going on in your life right now. They're there to provide you some guidance. And then if you really can't figure it out, what you do is you think about, what did this person mean to me? What were those things they always told me? That is what we've got to provide in the present time. So it's going to look different for everybody, but these connections can be made by either you or by someone who wants to connect with you. So that's why I would say it's magical, but it's natural, right? It's natural and it's magical.
Yeah, I dream about our brother Mike, our dead gay brother Mike. Yeah, I was in Eric's room staying there for a little bit. I'd stay 6 weeks to come back. Me and my older brother Mike, we had a thing where we physically fight, but it's the culture we came from.
Yeah.
So we love fight. We love fight. Yeah. Eric, no, I actually had a dream, and Eric remembers I had a dream, and I woke up, and I walked out, and Eric goes, "You got blood all over your face right here." I had blood all coming down. I was like, "Yeah, man." I had a dream about Mike. He shoved me forward, and I hit my head against your desk. My dreams. But it was still fun. But I didn't know it was there until I woke up, and Eric's like, "You're bleeding all over your yeah." I had a dream about Mike. We had a fun fight last night in our dream because he had passed away. Right before that room, then he passed away. So I still feel him at the house, Eric's house.
Well, here's a comment for Flaticorn Music. I dream about my dead grandparents and father often. I never remember they are dead during the dream. When I wake, it is bittersweet.
Yeah, dream about my dad too. Yeah, still dream about dad, Eric. I still dream about our dad all the time. All the time. Always doing crossword puzzles. Always doing crossword puzzles. He asks me a question. Yeah, always doing crossword puzzles because that's how last time we knew him. All he did was crossword puzzles. And he'd ask me, "Do you know what's another name for this or what's another name for that?"
Yeah. Well, and you know what? Sometimes those dreams are just those good feel dreams, and they can be very healing. So if a person is going through maybe a difficult time in their life, or kind of in a place of indecision, sometimes these connections can happen, and it's simply to help you feel good. Just that way, whenever you wake up, you can wake up with that energy. Now, the person that we just read their description, he says he woke up and it was bittersweet because in the dream he felt it was so real. So something we can practice is whenever you wake up, of course we're going to miss them. Of course it can be bittersweet, but let's practice remembering the feeling that was offered during the dream, because that is the message that we need to take with us. So if we remember this loving, wonderful energy, let's focus on that, because that is what we're meant to begin the day with. I think if we can start practicing that, that is what makes our dreams intentional. That's what makes them powerful. And that's how they really guide us.
Nice. That's great.
Here's our good friend, Black Sheep Researcher. Fantastic channel, people. You guys should subscribe to him. Can you imagine if we product DMT like used to, what our dreams would be like?
Wow.
Boom. Yes, it would be amazing. Well, and some people, if you've seen this, there's some people that supposedly produce more DMT while they're sleeping, while they're dreaming. So their dreams are like boom, 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 like just extra out there. So I've heard that it's possible to increase your levels of DMT as you're going to sleep at night if you're encouraging this dream state, if you're encouraging these more creative dreams. So I think that it's possible to increase that.
Yeah, I dream. People talk about they're not dream since 2016. Before that, I didn't dream at all because I'm a debunk myself. I was taking so much medication from the Veterans Administration.
Oh yeah.
I got off all opiate. I cleaned up in a day. I got rid of all my pills, and since then and after that, I dream like crazy. And again, when people talk about dreaming, use marijuana, but guys, you want to use something with a CBD in it. You want to use indica, not sativa. I recommend indica because it's a sleepier one. I'd just throw that out there because if I sometimes I just CBD it before bed and man, I'm gone. I'm having fun dreams.
Well, I'm gonna ask this question, but here, I like this comment. Question everything. He's telling this to another person. Yeah, but with the population, with pollution, we don't produce like we used to. That does make sense. With the pollution, you probably don't. But this was a question to another person. Say, do you lucid dream? Let me ask you, what is technically lucid dream?
Good question.
Yeah. So lucid dreams are really fun. Okay. So they're those dreams where, you're obviously dreaming, but it feels like you're awake. It literally feels like you're awake. Oftentimes people that are lucid dreaming are able to move things around. They're able to even completely change the scenario. They're able to do whatever they want. And these dreams are actually really powerful and really healing, because what happens is if you're able to have a lucid dream at night, let's say that you're having a nightmare. Let's say you're freaked out. Well, if you're conscious and aware of your dream, you can change that, right? You can change something within the dream. I had one dreamer say that he would have constant dreams of being abused because he was abused when he was a child. So yeah, he would have these nightmares again and again and again. Finally, he practiced lucid dreaming. He was able to be lucid in the dream. He stopped the person from harming him. And that was so intense for him, because when he woke up, it was like this feeling of empowerment of, I finally stopped this person. And even though it was only in dream state, the same feelings were associated there. The same brain connections are associated there. So that was very powerful for him in waking state. So I always encourage lucid dreams. They're my favorite, actually, one of my favorite dreams.
Let me ask you this. As a kid, I don't know why I remember this dream till this day. In California, we have a lot of long leg spiders. Long leg spiders are everywhere.
That's what it is.
But I remember I feel like it was real. I feel like I was like on a couch and I saw a long leg spider. Then somehow this long leg spider made a cocoon around my body, not like where I can't move, but like I'm inside of a make a cocoon, and I was trying to crawl out, but it felt so real. It was like different. It didn't feel like I was just dreaming of a nightmare, but it's almost like I felt it. Like I felt being closed down, and I felt like this long leg spider. I know they don't have teeth, but they are considered one of the most poisonous spiders, but they just don't have teeth. But I felt like somehow this long leg spider was gonna suck the blood out of me, but it felt real.
Spider dreams.
But were you afraid, or what were you feeling in the dream?
I feel like I'm about to be closed in, like everything's gonna close in, and I'm not gonna be able to move or get out. Where I can't move at all, I'm gonna stand still, and this thing's gonna like take the blood out of my body.
Right.
I woke up. It didn't get to that part, but it just felt so real.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, whenever we have dreams like that, it's important to reflect it outward. And what I mean by this is, okay, that same feeling of being like constrained, like something, some energy, the spider, whatever, just closing you in like this, reflect that outward. What was going on in waking state, where maybe a situation or a particular person made you feel like that, made you feel like there's no way out. I feel like there's so much pressure on me. What is going on? Because remember, for a child, that kind of pressure, that kind of frustration in waking state will look dramatic. It will look like a big spider in a cocoon, right? But to an adult now, it may look different. It may be like somebody's chasing me, something more adulty, right? So always reflect it outward with the feeling, because the feeling will guide the interpretation. But with kids' dreams are even more interesting, because they throw that factor of like excitement and of just spontaneity, right? That sometimes adult dreams don't have. So if you could reflect it outward to what was going on in that time in your life, if you were having that feeling, and now you're probably thinking, okay, maybe I do know what situation it was, but what good does it do me to know about it? Well, that's when you can actually do something about it, because if it's in the subconscious, if you're dreaming it, it's because it's really bothering us profoundly, and we haven't done anything about it. So that's what makes the dreams powerful, and that's why you say that they do guide us, because then we can do something about them.
No, it makes sense, because during that time I was picked on as a kid.
Yeah,
I was picked on. I couldn't hear properly. My teeth were all messed up. Kids are mean to other kids.
Oh yeah,
it's just the way it is. But I like what this guy said. I'm curious. Maybe we can answer this. He said, Bolt Gun said, had a guru of some kind tell me that the dreams I had in color were not dreams, that they were visions.
Visions.
Yeah. So okay, the dream world consists of a lot of things, right? We've got our past dreams. We've got those present dreams that, let us know what's going on in this current moment. We have those future dreams that can be like premonition dreams, of course. But then we also have various dimensions that we can have access to within dream state. So if he is dreaming in color, and if he connects with this, if he thinks it's a vision of the future, it very well could be, right? When it comes to dreams, we all have different names for a particular dream. That's why I'm always talking about what is the feeling associated with the dream, because the feeling is something we can all connect with, right? So it's very important to follow what the feeling is. But now, if he believes that this is a vision of the future, and if the dreamer connects with that, then that's exactly what it is, right? But we have to remember that we're all going to have different names for something that we don't all fully 100% understand yet.
Yeah, I got a question though, Eric. I got a question. It's from Britain. It's from somebody gave me a question to ask from Britain. They didn't want to ask in the sidebar.
That's fine.
So it's an embarrassing question for this person, and I'm like, I don't want to ask this, but person had a dream recently about her mother's dog dying, and her mother's dog dying. Now, and to give a background, I'm like, well, I know why this person's stressed, because this person's mother's dog, it has a problem where it was a mixed breed where its brain outgrew its body, and now it has one of those problems where it can barely walk, but outlived many dogs, still going, but falls over. It's just got like a cerebral palsy, kind of a healthy, happy dog. And I go, oh, you had this dream. I don't want to have this dream. So what does it mean when somebody has a dream about, well, in this case, this person dreamt their mother's dog died? What do I say? What do you say? What should I say? How do you tell that person something encouraging?
Well, absolutely. I always want to know what the dreamer was feeling within the dream, because this dream can go various ways, but we can talk about it generally to help them. And then if they send us their feelings, then we can help them further. But for example, whenever we dream of someone dying or an animal, what have you, it could mean, number one, that they may pass away soon, right? But what does this mean for us? It means simply that we're seeing this so that way we can be prepared to help. If this dog is really close to the family, if it's one of those kind of family dogs, it's preparing the dreamer, not for the dreamer to say, hey, your dog is going to pass away and spread fear, not for that, but it's for the dreamer to be prepared and ready to support and help in the situation. Okay. So that's one thing. But now the other thing depends on their feelings, of course. The other thing can be whenever you see someone die in the dream, it very much could just be that there's a new beginning for this person, a new beginning for this, for a particular project, what have you. But we have to get the feelings of the dreamer, because really the feelings are the most important thing when it comes to your dream. The images are important too, but the feelings are what sustain the dream. So if we can get those, we can help them a little bit better. But I hope that provides some guidance for them to begin with.
Yeah, better than I can say. I don't know what to say about it. I'm like, sounds like you might have premonition, but I have a bad way of saying that because I'm a little callous to that, but I don't want to say anything. So let me ask the dreamer. I'm sure it's going to come out a lot nicer than I'm going to say. Thank you for saying it like that. It makes me feel a little comfortable, and the other person's watching it. Okay, maybe some changes are happening. It's not so much as maybe a dog dying or anything, but. Cool. And prepared. And you said both.
Absolutely. And just remember, whenever you have any dream, whether it be a dream of someone passing or a nightmare, we have to practice letting go of the fear associated with it. We don't want anyone to pass away or anything, of course, but we have to be able to look at the dream for what it is and accept its guidance, because when we look at it with fearful eyes, we start judging it, we start changing the interpretation. Yeah. So we just have to learn to practice that. But I send that person a big virtual hug. I hope that they're all right.
Good, because I'm a little callous, so I'm like, I'm not going to answer that question.
Yeah, really, I don't want to.
I don't want to be that one. And it's like, hey, can you ask this? Oh, yeah, I will definitely ask. I'm sure it's going to come out a lot nicer than me. But thank you.
Over here, talking about. There's another cool video. I think you almost already kind of answered it.
All the questions in their videos, guys. Make sure we sub. Everybody sub, please. Sub, please.
This might help a lot of veterans and stuff. This is why I want to talk about this video. You wrote the title of this video you have is called Nightmares. How can they help us heal? And we know a lot of veterans and stuff. You have a lot of memories of not polite memories, war, stuff you've seen, things you've done. And, but, a lot of them have nightmares. And are you saying there's a way that you could take that nightmare and try to make it to get to the better side, the good energy?
Absolutely. And this is why dreams are so powerful. Whenever we go to sleep, if we're having these nightmares, we're having these really fearful dreams, oftentimes we wake up with that same energy, right? We're fearful, we're like panting, and oftentimes we begin the day with that kind of energy. It's a time to take our power back. So for example, if we have this nightmare, we need to practice the art of lucid dreaming, because like we talked about before, if I can be aware of my dream, not only aware, but take action in my dream. If someone is trying to hurt me, if a reoccurring memory that brings me so much pain keeps coming again and again, if I can change it at the most subconscious level of myself through lucid dreaming, then that same energy, that same willpower of I mentally will change this, I mentally can have a different way of looking at this, will reflect in waking state. Now, some people are probably like, that sounds great, I'd love to do that, but I don't know how to lucid dream. This is with anything else. We just have to practice it. I can give you all a really, this is not a tip that you hear often. It's a weird one that helps me have more lucid dreams. So I can share it with you all if you'd like, and then I'll give you the more common one later. Okay, the weird one that I like is you look for an object. Okay, pick any object around you. I found this button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a moment of just weirdness, and I'm just going to look at this button with so much detail. I'm going to spend like a good 5 or 10 minutes. I know it sounds weird, but I'm going to spend a good 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to look at all the details. I'm going to look at all the dust. I'm going to look at if it has a little number, everything. What this does is this allows my mind to focus on something for a good solid 5 to 10 minutes. And if I do this, what happens is that when I go to bed at night, if I see any image in front of me, because I've been practicing this weird practice in waking state, I'm going to see an object. And I'm like, oh, that's a really interesting object. I'm going to do the same thing. And when you do that, something in the mind is going to click, and you're going to ask yourself then, okay, what it looks different. Is this a dream, or am I sleeping, right? And that's when it happens. Yeah, it's that practice. And it's a strange one because most people don't do this one, but this one works so well for me. If I'm trying to have a lucid dream, I do this. And you can do it a couple times during the day. So that way it's really prime time. Whenever you go to sleep, you can have that same action.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, I do that. I put some archaeology. I'm always staring at kids.
Yeah. Well,
what? I'm not trying to be sexist at all, people, but a lot of young people have a lot of sex dreams, and they think about it so much. Makes sense why they have those kind of dreams. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not saying that. But,
that is okay.
I like Southern Well wrote, "Why do you remember your dream right when you wake up and say, I want to remember this later, but forget the details unless you write it down right then."
Classic.
Yeah, well, it's actually a very simple concept when you think about it, because look, whenever you're in dream state and you're aware, you're in it, you're submerged, you're living it, right? Same thing when you wake up. You don't have time to have all of this information with you. You need to be conscious and do what you need to do right now. So you need to be full into waking state, which is understandable, right? So if you really do want to use your dreams to guide you, you do have to practice writing them down first. For example, for me, it took me a few years. I would write them down all the time. I do it now for fun, basically. But you get to a point where dream state is just like any other memory. It's just like when I walked my dog the other day, right? It becomes so comfortable, and it becomes such a part of you that you're able to do it seamlessly. But it does take practice because, when you wake up, you got to get done what you got to get done while you're here. So that's the only reason why it really leaves us, because we need to stay focused. But you can always practice remembering it if you do write it down. So I always encourage folks, go ahead and write it down. And if you can't write it down, you can record it, right? Voice record it and have it for yourself.
Yeah. This person wrote, Flower Card Music wrote, if a dream is to past life, for instance, to forget may be a survival instinct to keep us grounded, to keep us from rushing out of this realm, even if it becomes painful here.
Oh.
Yeah, so those past dreams, if you have a dream that is like of a past life or what have you, oftentimes, yes, we do forget them because for whatever reason we don't need them. We shouldn't be focusing so much on that. But remember this, if it keeps reoccurring, if it's a reoccurring dream, there is something for us to learn. It doesn't mean we have to enter this life and really get into the details. It doesn't mean that. But it does mean learn from the situation, learn from this life. What did you do? Who were you with? What were you known for? What did you fail to do that you wish you could have, etc.? Those learning experiences, those are the things we need to bring into present state. That's why we see them. It's not so much so that we get all into the weeds with the past life, but it's to use the information and the lessons learned in this precise moment. So you get them at the perfect time. Always pay attention to when you get those.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
and you even have videos that says like, do this when you need to align with peaceful energy. So you're also, sometimes some of your videos aren't just about dreams. You're trying to help people to connect with peaceful energy.
Yes, Eric. I'm very passionate about that actually, because when you all were talking about medication and all that, I used to take medication for anxiety because I suffered very much with that for years. And when I took the medication, the dreams weren't the same. And I noticed that they weren't the same, and it just hurt me so much because I couldn't use them as guidance. So I started practicing ways to get myself to peaceful energy, to stay with that kind of calm energy throughout the day. And it's a practice that I do every single day. And I realize that a lot of us go through the same struggle. So I think that one of the main reasons that I'm here on this earth is to help spread that energy of love, unity, and peace in all that I do. So yeah, that's very close to my heart.
I love that. We have me, Bob, we get a lot of different guests on this channel. And we get some guests that's, I hate to say from different communities, but from the Matrix community. And a lot of the things when people come from on this channel, talk about the Matrix, they all talk about kind of what you're saying in a different way about surrounding yourself with good energy.
Yeah.
You need to get rid of the bad energy, because if you rely on the bad energy too much, bad things are going to happen. Bad dreams, bad this. You need to surround yourself. So a lot of ways you can hear how dreams, like you're talking about, and the Matrix side are so closer together than we think. That's why I love doing these different shows with different communities, different people, because at the end of the day, it's almost all the same thing.
Yeah, I feel that.
Generations say it differently. Matrix people just say it within the energy of the Matrix.
Well, yeah, I remember my kids were like, we're going to watch a scary movie before bed. I said, really? You want to do that? You want to watch a scary movie? Okay, you go ahead. Inevitably, there's a nightmare in the morning. I'm like,
Southern Well says, love her. She has a beautiful energy.
Yeah, she's positive.
That's very sweet. Thank you. But I'm telling you, I practice it every single day. I really mean that, because anxiety used to be something that was really the prominent thing in my life, and I had to let it go, right? Like you said, Eric, submerging yourself with more positive energy, more positive things. And one thing that I realized too was I let go of those things that I didn't want to do anymore, right? Oftentimes we feel so obligated to do all these things for other people and everything. And I'm like, you know what? No, I got to start letting go of this stuff and start focusing on what I really want to do and what promotes love and peaceful energy. So thank you very much for that comment. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, get away from those things that make you miserable. I did.
Let it go.
I want to ask you, because you made a set of series on your channel. Starting from day. You titled it Day 1 of our 30-day journey to a happier version. There's a day 1, day 2, all the way up to day 30. If I have my listeners to go through day 1 to day 30, what are you teaching in those 30 days? Like, do you recommend binge watching it or watching it on a different day to get? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that question. I definitely recommend doing one every single day, because the point of it is every single day I offer a message for the day. So if anything goes wacky during the day, we go back to this thought and this one and only thought. And if we practice that, it's such a mindfulness practice of going back to that positive affirmation or going back to that important message that was given in the morning, and it redirects the energy. So it would be great if folks watched it one every day. Don't binge watch it. That won't do you too good, but do one every single day and you're going to feel so good. And I'm telling you, you will feel good, because even when I was doing it, I was like, you know what? I needed this. Sometimes we share the information that we most need. So I found that was very much true with these videos for me.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, for you younger people, to make sense of this, don't Netflix it. Don't do a Netflix.
Don't Netflix it. Don't binge it.
Not binging.
Do the old-fashioned local TV. One a week. In this case, one a day.
One a day. 30 days. That's actually kind of cool. One a day for 30 days and see how you feel. If you guys are having some difficulties, what is it going to hurt, man? Seriously, it's a good. You're comfortable to listen to, number one, and you're not like you got horns on your head looking all freaky with like cards. You're just telling it honestly. This is the day that you should blah blah blah.
Yes, and why this is important, because let's just be honest. We're getting over an election. You had the pandemic. You have the election. So there is so much stress that people are going through. There's a lot of stress. I mean, stress right now. Like, what's the next 2 months going to be like when a man knows he's out of office? What's going to happen? So there's a lot of stress, and I think having her on was such perfect timing in the universe for everything, because a lot of people, even in our own community, that is having a lot of stress in their life. When's the next job? how are you going to lose your job? Where are the jobs? I mean, there's just so much right now that there's so much hurting. And take the recommendation, watch her day 1 video one day. Next day, watch day 2, watch day 3. And maybe, just maybe, that can lead you to be a little happier.
Yeah, add it to like an evening routine. It's a comfort. I actually have, I won't say the channels, but there's channels that I'll actually watch before bed because they're comforting. Yours is obviously going to be on the list now. Comforting sounds, it's comforting person, positive message. Boom, I can go to bed. There's a positive feel to the end of the day. I can go to sleep and feel good. And there's some things I don't watch monster movies before bed. I watch them in the daytime. I won't watch anything bad. And even time I'll sit down, I'll even read, or I'll watch something positive and just for bed because I don't want to wake up.
Well, if you're sad, I mean, you even got a video right here that says, "Why do we have sad dreams?" Maybe watch it, find out why you have sad dreams, and maybe that'll help you to have a better dream if you feel sad.
I don't for bed.
I love a weekly message from Mexico. I don't know what that one's about, but you have everything.
Yeah, well, I had finally gotten a chance to go back to Mexico. I hadn't seen my grandmother in 28 years. So that's what that video is about. It was basically the dreams and the hopes that I had started manifesting, started coming true. So you'll notice that some of these videos even talk about how I began to do that. It all started with me writing a letter and just being transparent with the universe with what I needed help with. And then all of a sudden, I kid you not, everything just started falling into place. Wow. And I think it happened because I finally let it happen and I believed it could. And I think that that's so important for all of us. And that's the other reason why I decided to make these videos, because I'm like, if I, a normal person, whatever, can do these things and can create beautiful books out of just whatever's within here, everyone else can do something like that too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, children books.
Yeah, and you recommend there's one video. It says sharing a dream message, trust in the universe and your life process. Are you saying like if you have a good solid dream, maybe it'll help you even better if you talk to somebody about the dream that you have?
Yeah, so I always think that talking about your dreams is really important because when you do that, you're connecting with somebody in such a profound way. This is a whole different kind of conversation. So if you have somebody that you trust, I think it would be amazing for people to be able to share their dreams, because what happens, not only are you connecting with them in that way, but you're also sharing such important information and you're letting them know, hey, these are the kinds of things that I aspire to do. These are the kinds of things that are within me. And when you share it with other people, you find amazing connections that you never knew existed, but they come out in dream state. Try it with your family too. Oftentimes people in the family will have such similar dreams that point to one direction of how to go about in a situation. It's amazing. I always say, like I said, it's magical, but it's the most natural thing that we're all connected in such an amazing way. Yeah,
I got one for her. Real fast. This is silly and really weird. This is on the paranormal side. We're a channel like that.
I love that.
Yeah, around 2016, whatever. Around 2016, now I've had dreams like anybody else. They're just common, the day reflecting, kind of blah, blah, blah. I had the real deal. I had that I'm not joking when I say this, I had that Slender Man guy. In 2006, he was a tall, asparagus-looking freaking guy. And he was chasing me in a town. Now, I've never had a dream like that. And anyway, I'm not going to give the whole story of the dream. I was okay. I found out every time I moved several feet, it would move right behind me, but it would stop when I stopped. So I realized that I'm not scared. It's not going to ever touch me because whatever time I move, it moves. But it's a big-ass Slender Man. And so this is before the big wave of, I didn't even talk about it, the big wave on the internet. All of a sudden, you see the Slender Man dreams. Everyone's having this, and it's a joke, and everyone's making jokes. And I sit back quietly going, I had that dream. I go, what is this? I've never seen it. I've never heard the myth. I've never seen any movie. There was movies much later afterwards, years afterwards. The stories hit the internet years afterwards. So I had it, but I had this Slender Man guy and my dream chasing me around. but I didn't hear any, and I debunk. So I'm saying right now, I didn't hear any stories of it. It wasn't in my head. There wasn't a book I read. It wasn't a movie I saw. But I had that guy. And then I talked about it on my show before, and other people, I've had the same one. I'm like, well, have you? Or are you just, saying that? But other people swear they've had the same weird fella. Would you ever hear that?
Yes, I bet they have, because, oftentimes we think that we're connected to people with just speaking and what have you, but we're connected in so many ways energetically. And when we go to bed at night, we can have the same or similar dreams to what other people are having. I've had a very similar situation to that with it's kind of like an alien dream that I had, right? So I had one of these dreams. I started finding out other people had very similar dreams. So it's like a universal connection. A lot of people that are really sensitive and can connect with other folks will be able to have these kinds of dreams. But now you can learn from them in two ways. One is, yes, a lot of us can be connected and having this dream. But then the other question is, why are we all having this image? What does this image represent for us and as a community, right? So that's when you've got to use your feelings to guide you. If this thing was like following you, but you were able to look at it, you said you weren't fearful, but what was it? What during this time in your life was like this either situation or this person that was kind of like always following you? What was it that you were carrying? We have to reflect it outward and see what it means to us, because it can mean something different to different people, but you can still have the same dream as other people with that universal connection that we all have anyways. So that is pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's weird.
I know I only got a few more minutes with you, and I gotta go. I'm doing some volunteer work at the veteran hospital within the hour. But this is an interesting one, and I never thought about asking something like this. But I wonder, if you start sleepwalking, are you possessed by something? IDK. And sleepwalking is interesting because is
I was going to ask her that. I was going to ask her that. I was a sleepwalker.
Is sleepwalking part of a dream, or is it just sleepwalking? What is that?
Well, okay, let's think about it like just as simply as we can. So whenever we go to sleep, we're having these dreams. And like we've all talked about before, the mind is operating the same, right? It's operating at the same level as if you're awake doing something. So it's very common for some people to be in this so much that not only does their mind go, but their body follows along with it. All right. So it's actually normal. Nobody is possessed or anything. It is different to see because it doesn't happen to everybody. So we can be fearful to begin with, but just remember, it's just that this person is so deep within their dream state. And oftentimes they don't know they're sleepwalking. They're just expressing dream state through their whole bodies. And it can be dangerous just depending on where you are in your home. So if you have a sleepwalker, keep an eye on them, but it's nothing unhealthy or anything like that. Oftentimes they're just expressing the dream. Take it like any other dream. If they start having a nightmare while they're sleepwalking, of course you want to address it like any other dream and help heal that. But just know that sleepwalking itself is not possessed. It's not being possessed. And it isn't something we should be afraid of.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that question because I was a sleepwalker as a kid. Yeah. We used to go hunting and camping. My Uncle Johnny, which was an accident, went off a cliff. But anyway, he doesn't sleep. So he's up all night. And my dad always says, make sure you watch me. But me, I was a little kid. So he'd be like up making coffee in the middle of the night, just doing a little camp chores around camp. He'd get up and I'd be up. He said I'd be up out of the tent. I'd have a fishing pole and a thing. And he'd always say, you catching fish? And I would tell what he said. Well, yeah, I'm going fishing, Uncle Johnny. And he'd watch me go down to the water and fish. He said he would watch me fish for a little while. Then I'd get back up and go back to bed. He goes, you catch any fish? No, Uncle Johnny. I'd go back to bed. And then the next day he would, for a joke, and I don't know what he's talking about. I always thought, you catching any fish? And I go, Uncle Johnny, what are you talking about? You catch any fish? And I go, I don't know what you're talking about. And my dad's laughing. Everyone's laughing. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, oh, Uncle Johnny says you got up last night, went fishing. I go, no, I didn't. Who are you talking? I have no memory.
But you know what? Yeah, but it sounds like you've had a lot of really intense connections in dream state, because you're talking about sleepwalking, but then you also were talking about this Slender Man and having that kind of universal dream. And then lastly, you had mentioned about having a dream with your brother who has passed away and your grandparents. So you are a very powerful dreamer. That is amazing.
Oh, yeah, I got the scar on my forehead from Eric's desk. Eric, what happened to you? So Mike shoved me in my back, man. He pushed me forward and I hit my head against the wall. we were fighting or wrestling. We you know, a love wrestle relationship. You know, yeah. I was like, yeah, I still sleepwalk.
One person said, well, it just happened this morning. Woke up, couldn't remember, but I remember the essence of the dream. Closed my eyes and I remembered. And yeah, I used to have a lot of those. You know, you had a dream, you felt it what it was supposed to be, but you're trying to put it together and remember what it was, and you can't. But you feel the essence. That is right on.
And I love that they close their eyes. If you leave your eyes closed, you're more likely to remember, because as soon as you wake up, you're absorbing all this information with your eyes. So keep them closed like this person has said, because it will come back to you a little bit easier that way.
That's cool. We got a lot of information. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes,
and people, this is her channel. It's also in the description, so you guys can find it in the description. There's her link right there. And like I said, she doesn't have like 5-10 videos. You got like over 188 videos, and you're hitting the dreams in so many different topics. You know, lucid dreams, nightmare dreams, weird, confusing dreams, dream symbols. You even have one that says, "Why do I have repetitive dream symbols?"
Yeah, those are.
I like your answers. I like your answer, especially with the dead cat. Come on, that's fucking hands down. Oh, I start swearing.
And then
hands down awesome.
Well, you also have, do dreams have meanings? Dreamings of my life. So it looks like you hit almost every single section of the dreams, and I recommend everybody try it out. Do a day one of her video, and your videos are not like, you know, like our channel, an hour, 2 hours long. You're like 2 minutes.
They're quick. Yeah. Why wouldn't someone not just say, oh, I have a question, I'm just going to go to your channel? I'm not joking, by the way. I'm going to go to your, it's easier for me for data. I'm like, I'm just going to go to your channel and get your scoop on, I just had this weird dream. I'm sure I'm going to find it on your section. It'll be there somewhere.
You know, and right here, we'll check this out. You know, people are going to be checking out your channel. I love seeing stuff. So,
please check it out.
I know you got to go, and I got to go. Are you going to, you got anything coming up you want to let people know?
Do I have what now? I'm sorry?
Do you have anything coming up, like another video dropping or anything you want to promote?
Yes, thank you. So every Thursday I do videos in the evening. So I'll share a video tomorrow, and then I do Monday videos also. So Monday and Thursdays you can see my videos. And, you know, I try to answer my followers' questions, but also know that if you have a specific dream that has really been bothering you, you can send it to me in the comments or message it to me. I do my best to respond to you either there, or I can do a video personally on your dream. Either way, I work to answer the questions that our dreamers have. So always feel free to reach out in that way as well.
Yay.
That's awesome.
Answered all
questions. Here, hold on. One person just said, Gypsy, I have a question for her. So there is one more question. We'll end the show. My dreams have motives or rules. One constant is that my dwelling in a dream are always totally messy. Ideas?
Oh.
Yes, we have a lot of ideas. We always have to reflect it to waking state, okay? If it's messy in dream state, and if this is the place that the dreamer usually goes to into a messy state, let's reflect it outward. Are we living our life kind of disorganized? Is it a little bit messy? If so, what particular aspect, right? Is it just a particular room, or is it a situation? Is it a workspace? It's really important that we make the connection to what it is in waking state, because that's what we need to work on. So that's all that it is. But they also put here rules. Sometimes dreams do have rules. For example, some dreamers can't fly. Some dreamers can't go through walls. Some dreamers have set these limits and rules on themselves, because in dream state, you can do anything you want. So the more that you practice having lucid dreams, being creative, going through walls, flying, it sounds kind of strange. Like, why does it matter to do that? Well, it's very important, because if you practice going through these things in dream state, what you're doing is you're looking at situations differently. You're finding new solutions. You're being more creative, and that reflects in waking state with anything that you're doing. So,
yeah, and I like that.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking if you're Portuguese.
No, I'm actually from Mexico. But I get a lot of different questions about that. So, but yes, I'm from Mexico.
Yeah.
And before I get off, I just want to let you all know that it just was such a pleasure to connect with both of you. You're all just loving and amazing people that want to bring truth to others, and I appreciate that so much. And I appreciate bringing me here on this particular day because, you know, I see that you are both veterans. I want to thank you for your service. It is a blessing to share this space with you today.
Thank you.
Oh,
This was wonderful. It's no stress in this show.
And I want to say before we leave, you know, when I want to ask to play a video clip on people's channels, I never do it. I always ask permission. That's just the way I do it. I never do it without permission because that's the right thing to do. And I asked you if I could play your clip, but you did something better. Not just play a clip. I'll go on your show. And
that's nice.
That's what's awesome. I was just asking you if I had permission to play your clip, and you're willing to come on the show. That's awesome. That's
better than the clip because you got that human being to talk about it.
Better than the clip they actually having the person that's behind those clips. So thank you for doing it.
Pleasure. I appreciate it, Eric. I appreciate it to the both of you. If I can ever be of service, you all let me know.
Oh, you know, like I said, we talk about all topics, and another day we might have a topic that involves dreams, maybe with another channel or something, and maybe we'll have you on, you know, to give your input of whatever that topic is. I don't know what it is, but you never know.
Well, that I'm just going to send her post about a couple of hats. It's like, I want to ask you a question.
And then beyond that, people in the chat, please come back on Friday. We're going to have an awesome Matrix kind of show. We got Sagistic Red and the Matrix Unveiled coming back on this Friday. So we're going to have an electric, powerful, good energy show this Friday. Literally, it's a Matrix show this Friday. So beyond that, I want to thank her for coming on. I want to thank everybody for being here today, and thank you guys. And have a good Veterans Day. Make some food. Say hi to people. Say hi to everybody. Who cares if they're veteran or not? We're all human. Just get the good energy started now.
That's right.
Get started. So thank you guys very much, and have a nice day.